So on the home screen of Foreflight, this is usually what you're going to log into. And as mentioned, with an electronic flight bag, it can actually replace your VFR and your IFR charts. Now, what the FAA says about electronic flight bags is that you obviously want to have a backup. So what Foreflight does in any of their subscription products, the basic product, I believe, is $99. Then they have an intermediate tier, which allows synthetic vision, and we'll talk about what that actually means. And then there's a higher level known as performance. That's really for your professional pilots, and it allows a lot more capabilities, and it really kind of it has more in-depth flight planning features, and it does a lot more different things that's really kind of over the top for what we're going to do. Now, the version that I have on my iPad, this is an iPad Pro 11. This is actually the performance version. This is that over-the-top version, as mentioned. And the only reason I have it is just to kind of show students, all of the different features depending on whatever you guys have. Now, with Foreflight, it is a yearly subscription. There are some Foreflight discounts out there. If anybody is an instructor and you belong to either NAFI or SAFE, I believe they provide a 33% discount. So that's always something worthwhile looking into. And then in addition to that, Foreflight does offer JEP charts or JEP plates that you can basically put on in addition to your government or NACO charts. Okay. Now, with Foreflight, and in terms of, before we even dig into the actual physical product itself, remember that this is only for Macintosh or an iPad. It doesn't work on Android devices, so it's important that you realize that. And then everybody always asks, what are the differences between an iPad Mini and an iPad Pro and all the other different types or sizes of iPads? And a lot of that is just kind of personal. The iPad Mini obviously takes up a lot of real estate. Same thing with the iPad. For some of us who that can be a little bit more challenging to see in that type of real estate. I go with the iPad Pro 11 just because of the fact that it comes with the Pro Pencil, and that allows you to take clearance notes and a few other kind of bonuses. Plus, it's a
oh wow, that's sticky.
Now, if you guys are looking at iPads, the things that I can tell you about them is that obviously they come in a Wi-Fi version or they have a cellular version. It is recommended that you guys do get the cellular version. The whole reason being that the cell versions of these iPads do have a GPS chip installed in them. The Wi-Fi versions do not. So if you have a Wi-Fi only iPad, you will have to get some type of external device, whether that's a Sentry or a Stratus or any of those other external devices. And what that external device is doing is it's connecting either through Bluetooth or Wi-Fi to your iPad, and it's effectively acting like your GPS that you would normally have installed. The nice thing about those products, though, are that with the Sentry and the rest of them is they provide a lot more information than obviously just a GPS. There are probably over a dozen products on the market. You can look at them on Foreflight's website in terms of what they do, but the majority now are providing ADS-B information, and that is giving us a lot of information as it relates to obviously live traffic while we're flying. It is also providing information on weather, METARs, TAFs, anything along those lines, which is absolutely crucial nowadays, especially with the way that everything is kind of migrating as we kind of get away from HIWAS and all these older technologies like flight service and flight watch that used to exist. Okay.
Yeah, just take a pause for a second. All right, everybody, make sure you guys can still hear us. I'm just gonna go ahead and mute everybody, make sure. Okay, go ahead, continue, sorry.
Thanks, guys. Oh, we got twos again. All right, so with that, we're not going to go into every single Sentry device, but just keep that in mind. If you have a Wi-Fi version only, you're going to need some way to connect in order to get the georeferencing, meaning to get the airplane on your screen to show you where you currently are. Otherwise, it kind of looks like the screen that we're looking at right here, which just shows a map that we can zoom in or out on. If you guys are lucky enough to have an ADS-B more advanced capabilities inside of your aircraft, they also make these devices by Garmin and Stratus that are basically hard mounted inside the airplane and also act as your ADS-B transponder. So those are other resources that we could do.